fourth grade, we are going to talk about the elements of drama. And when we talk about drama, we're not talking about reality TV or talking about the drama that you have with your friends. No, we are talking about plays. And there are different parts of plays that make it a drama. So these are called the elements of drama. So here we go. So let's begin with basic vocabulary words. So if we are talking about a play, the author of a play is called a playwright, which kind of goes with it. So a playwright, whoever writes the play, is the playwright. The playwright writes a script, and the script is what the actors and actresses read off of to know what their lines are. But you can see there's much more here than just lines, and we will learn about that as we go. So the script contains characters. Those are the people who are in the play. And then it also contains a setting where the setting takes place. So if we go back, we can see we've got the characters listed here on this script. And then this little paragraph here kind of sets up the setting and tells where they're at, what those people are doing, and what is going on there. So we've got characters and we've got a script. We also have acts. So the word act is kind of like chapters in a chapter book. So the act in a play is a certain section of the play. And usually when we do plays, one whole act will be in a certain setting. And then they might switch the setting for the second act so that they can move scenery around and kind of change up what it looks like. Each act contains multiple scenes. So you can see here, Act 1, Scene 1. So that is just an even smaller part of the section. So you've got your acts, which are the big like chapters, and then scenes are just the different parts of the acts. A scene is a unit of a play that occurs at a specific location or time. If one of these changes, the playwright begins a new scene. So you will know when a new scene is starting based on if it's a different time or if it's a different location. So for example, maybe the first scene is like at the breakfast table. The second scene would be later on in the day at lunch. So those are different scenes. The person who takes the script and turns it into a stage production is called the director. So this is the person who is in charge of the actual play itself. So putting on the play, where the playwright is the person who writes it, like the author of a book. The director is the person who is making sure it all goes running and telling everybody what to do. The director selects the actors. The actors are the people who are playing the characters. The directors must make the stage look like the setting described in the script. So when the playwright goes through and makes this script, they have a specific idea in mind for what they want it to look like. The director's in charge of making sure that the stage looks like this. The blank, which is the stage directions, contain notes for the actors and directors. They are not read aloud. So you can see here, these are called stage directions. Anything that's in parentheses and in those italics, which means the slanted font, is the stage directions. So you can see here, for example, Jake, you wouldn't say sighing. That's just how you would do this. So instead of saying, I can't believe the car ran out of gas, he would sigh, I cannot believe the car ran out of gas. So you can kind of see that is giving the actors directions of how they should be reading it. Also, this stage direction here. The stage is bare except for rolling hills painted on the backdrop. Ben and Jake are trudging across the stage wearing winter coats, hats, gloves, and backpacks. So it's telling you what they are doing, but those are not actual lines in the play. That's just telling you what is going on. Most of the time, there are stage directions written at the beginning of a scene. They tell director how to set the stage. So like I just said, this one kind of sets the scene for you. It tells you what is going on, and then the lines start. They also have stage directions that are written at the beginning of characters' lines. These give the actor specific directions about how he or she would say each line. Sometimes there are stage directions written between lines. These direct the actors to perform specific actions. So, for example, Jake stops walking and turns to face Ben. So Ben would say this line, then Jake stops walking and turns around. So you can kind of tell the difference between scenes based on how these stage directions are set up. So for example, let's look at scene 1. The stage is set up like a living room of a house. Emily walks into her room wearing a cheerleading uniform. Her hair is in a high pony and it looks perfect. She walks over to the mirror hanging on the wall and checks her appearance. Oh no, my hair is a mess. Emily runs through the doorway and off the stage. So that's the first set of scene. So what if we had a different scene where she's still the main character, but it sets her up differently? The stage is set up like a living room of a house. Emily walks into the room wearing a sloppy t-shirt and old jeans. Some of her hair is in a low ponytail, but most is out of place. She walks over to the mirror hanging on the wall and checks her appearance. My hair is kind of messy. Emily picks up a baseball cap that is sitting nearby and plops it on her head. She strolls out the front door. So you can see the exact same scenes were set, but just based on how the character was, you can tell that there are differences between those two characters. So Emily is wearing different clothes in the scenes. In scene A, her hair looks perfect. In scene B, her hair is messy. Emily's line shows surprise and frustration in scene A, but in scene B, it shows a lack of emotion, so she doesn't really care. Emily exits the stage in different ways. You can see the first one, she was upset and she like ran out to fix her hair. The second one, she was just like, nonchalant, no big deal. So in scene A, the playwright creates a scene that leads the audience to assume that Emily is what? A, lazy, B, vain, which means concerned about her appearance, C, smart, or D, messy. So the best answer for that would be vain because it seems like she really cares that her hair was out of place. But if we look at scene B, the playwright creates a scene that leads the audience to assume that Emily is A, worried about how she looks, B, indifferent about how she looks, C, surprised by her appearance in the mirror, D, extremely tired. So the best answer there would be B because she kind of didn't really care. She just kind of went with it and just put on a hat and was like, that's fine. I'll leave it like that. So you can see that those stage directions are super important in how you set up a character. So the playwrights have specific ideas in mind when they are making these directions. So it's very, very important for you guys to be aware of all of those things. So you are going to do some assignments to go along with these elements of drama. So if you guys have any questions, you can come back to watch this video, but you're going to do great.